gonna show you a Web3 agent, kind of like a companion I did on Python. This one is like the monolith version. It's like around 2,500 lines of code, and it can do a bunch of interesting things. So I'm gonna run through them like real fast just to demonstrate what it can do, like some of its capabilities. And this was entirely built with using other AI agents, essentially, like Cursor, or actually Sonnet 3.5 through Cursor. Sometimes, very rarely, ChatGPT, because I don't really like how it performs in terms of code. Like, you have to spend a lot of prompts to get where you want. Gemini has been interestingly good lately, especially the advanced version, both like the 1.5 Pro and 2 Advanced. Really good with code. And I also use my own AI model, OPSIIE, which starts to become very good at code. And at the moment, she also has the ability to summon third-party agents such as ChatGPT or custom versions of ChatGPT and other models, and kind of put them in a room and work together. So without further ado, this one is going to be focusing on the Web3 agent. Let's see what we can do with it. And of course, this like just a proof of concept. It's not perfect, but just a sec. Sorry. Just one moment. So we're not gonna go through everything, but you're gonna kind of get the idea of what this agent does, how it does it, and I'm gonna explain like what I have in mind or how it could evolve or what else could be part of this. So you have a bunch of interesting commands. In the beginning, if you follow me, like it could just like receive crypto. So now that it owns its own wallet, its own private keys, and it could also send crypto to either raw addresses or to like a address book where you can use either ENS domains or just like call names of different users. And if they're associated with the public 0x address, it would consider it as the recipient wallet. Now let's see what we can do with this. So let's say we start with buying. So you can say buy 10 Legion with if on base. Oh, sorry. 0x is the command. So this is a standalone monolith version for just for the Web3 agent. This is usually called through my main agent OPSIIE. And so like to differentiate different agents, I have different commands, and the Web3 commands are kind of grouped under 0x. So I have to use the prefix 0x by 10 agent with it on base. What? That's weird. Let me try again. 0x by region using if on base. Maybe. So the parsing is not perfect, as you see. You have to play around a little bit, but the idea is to make it as abstract as possible. Like it's a little bit better when you use OPSIIE because she can understand like if what you're saying matches any of the actions based on the parsing mechanism we have. But I want to make it so that regardless of how you say it, what you say, like if it somehow could suggest an action that the agent could take, it should probably suggest that action, or at least ask you, are you trying to do this? So in this case, we triggered the transaction. It says like we're giving this much of ether. We're getting back 10 degen. That's the rate currently. gas information, that's gonna be about 2 cents, and then the total cost is gonna be 9 cents. So essentially, like, we're buying I don't know, like 6 cents of 7 cents worth of degen with 9 cents of gas. That's fine. But we're gonna do this just for the demonstration. So if I'm gonna confirm, the transaction is just gonna go through, or it should. And you notice already by now that I don't use any wallets. Like, I didn't have to open MetaMask, I didn't have to open Google Chrome, sign up anywhere, or log in with my Google or anything like that, you know. It was pretty straightforward. It was like basic conversation, maybe not on a conversational mode, but again, these are things that could be built on top of that, and that's the plan. Like, I wanna like, the idea is to have a Web3 agent that can, I'm sorry, I think we lagged here. Let's try. Yeah, sorry about that. It happens. So as I was saying, the idea, let's try again the same transaction. I think it was timed out previously, so confirm this time. And normally it should go through. So here you see, we used that much ether at this rate via Uniswap pool, okay, to buy degen, 10 degen. Let's see the transaction on Basecamp, if it's legit. And it says we used ether to buy degen, and it succeeded. So the idea is to kind of have a Web3 companion, some sort of, where users, and I'm not just talking like newcomers, like, I understand this would be a massive you know, kind of gateway for newcomers that have no idea about how to start with crypto. Most of the people today, like, for me it's kind of obvious, and probably for you it's kind of silly, you know, that you have to explain things like wallets to people even after all these years, after a decade. I get it. Like, I think if somebody could onboard on crypto with like a partner, without paying all these Instagram bros that tell you, you know, hey, type I'm ready on the comments and buy my class or whatever the fuck, and you're gonna make it in crypto. But, you know, like an AI companion that you can trust, that can learn from you, you can learn from it, it can explain complex topics for you to understand, break them down, and at the same time, not just, it's not like a chat GPT where you can ask different Web3 or crypto questions, or suggest strategies or whatever, but it's an assistant that can actually take these actions for you. So you could say, for example, you know, I want to see what are the top tokens in X chain, or maybe tell me what chains are popular for someone who's into music or art or finance, or I don't know. So it could guide you through like different options in Web3 in a verbal fashion, in a communication style, not in technicalities and downloading things and making private keys and keeping them safe and then signing up with your wallet and checking your transaction and checking you know, where you connected, if you connected good and everything. So it would definitely make life easier for newcomers, but I think it's gonna also open a lot of interesting possibilities for casual crypto users such as myself. For example, if I wanted so let's say another one. This is the buy command. We can have a sell command which works the same. Let's say sell 10 degen for ETH on base. It's gonna show us the transaction details. We confirm, and once we confirm, we should get Basecamp receipt. Oh, in this case, you see, it also approved the token in case we didn't have it approved, or we spend the limit of tokens that were approved, it will auto approve the token and then perform the transaction. So I don't have to open MetaMask for this. I don't need to log in anywhere. I don't need to sign transactions and things like that. Like, yes, in this case, I'm writing this in commands, but you could really easily translate it into, you know, voice chat, for example. You could just talk to your AI agent and say like, hey bro, can you please sell 10 degen, buy 10 degen, or you know, liquidate this position on that protocol and things like that. I think this would be really, really helpful for all users. And again, for casual crypto users, I think that yes, you're already familiar with blockchain and everything, but it saves you so much time. And at the same time, it could make it easier, like for crypto bros, to access more sophisticated areas of DLTs, like flash loans and like interesting, or let's say complex smart contracts that wouldn't be available in a simple UI, such as, I don't know, like NFT buying interfaces we have today. Like, it's pretty easy. You click and you buy. But dealing with flash loans, like it's still kind of like restricted to even 99% of casual crypto users, not talking even about newcomers. So all these things could be verbally executed with an agent like that. Let's see another one that's pretty interesting. It's actually one of the latest ones. Let me pull actually the address for Degen. Base Degen. So I'm gonna use this as an example. Let's say we're gonna 0x analyze this contract base. Let's see what happens. It's gonna give us some information about the token in question, like this Degen, total supply, circulating supply, decimals, what's the compiler, is it a proxy, when it was created, by whom, what's the TX that we can check, prices, and in general, like market metrics, trading metrics, not doing pretty good these days, but okay. Transactions in terms of numbers, volume, buy, sells, etc. So we get some very basic info, kind of like things you would expect as someone who deals like with trades and transactions on chain on a regular basis, especially if we're talking about financial transactions. Like, this kind of information can be available to you for any token, practically any chain, simply with a command, you know. Like, I didn't have to open a million windows, I didn't have to sign up to a million platforms or anything. And if we want to see, let's say, further security analysis of the contract provided, it's also gonna go through some APIs and return like some interesting information about the contract in question that could enhance better decision making, essentially. Now, that doesn't work perfectly. This is something I'm working on right now. This is kind of like the latest update, the security things. Ideally, we would also show audits if, in case this contract has audits, but I'm pretty sure Degen has audits. In this case, we have an API error, so I'm gonna have to check this. But the idea is to share some security related info, some trading or like token related info for holders and investors, and then show you like a list of audits, who did them, when, and links to each respective audit, essentially. So this is kind of it. Like it can also, well, there are a bunch of commands. It can also add tokens to the whitelist. Like, as you see it right now, I could easily trade Degen by just saying buy Degen. Like, how does it know what I mean by Degen? There are dictionaries and lists and like whitelisted tokens that we approve, whitelisted chains that we can interact with at the moment. And the idea is that you could really easily, like in a modular fashion, add or erase tokens as well as entire chains. Then last, again, I think not only this would be interesting when we have like a more practical UI that anyone could use through a web link, but considering this like a crypto native application, I would say it would be really interesting to see an avatar potentially, you know, so it's not kind of like just your chatbot that performs crypto transactions, but it's kind of like really a pal, like a companion in this new sphere, and you can like talk to it, get familiar with it, learn crypto, educate yourself about crypto topics along the way, and you know, be able to assess what's good, what's not, what works, what doesn't for you, and also be informed and careful about different contracts you're about to interact with before you interact with them. So yeah, that was it. I hope you liked it. I will post more, not just about this agent, but the idea is like I'm gonna post a bunch of videos showing different arms of OPSIIE. Essentially, OPSIIE is my main agent. I call it a SCI agent, like SCI for self-centered intelligence. It's pretty good. It's not as politically correct as ChatGPT, but it does the job done. And she is basically able to utilize all these other local agents or micro agents that are tasked with very specific jobs. Like some of these agents, this one is for Web3, there are some of these agents that are specialized in DNA analysis, some of them in brain pattern recognition, some of them reading financial markets and doing like risk analysis and all sorts of cool stuff. So OPSIIE essentially like it started like a conversational agent and it ended up being an agent that handles around 12 agents right now, and each one of these agents is kind of like a standalone thing on their own. Like they used to be parts, essential parts of the body of OPSIIE in the beginning, and now they are in completely different repositories. They have their own structure and everything, and they're just being called whenever OPSIIE needs to perform a certain task, all through the ease of the conversation. I'm gonna also upload some videos with OPSIIE so you can see how it evolved. There are like some new interesting things in how she reasons and how she remembers things, how she pulls relevant information for context, as well as new interesting cool tricks we can do with the voice mode. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you found this interesting.